From inside the Fieldhouse in Fitchburg, the Doug Grutchfield Fieldhouse, Fitchburg High School, Fitchburg, Massachusetts. We say a very good evening, everyone, as we welcome you high above courtside here on Rivalry Family Media. Alongside Kate Robbins, Todd Robbins for RFM this evening, and great to have you along with us in what is going to be a very exciting evening of basketball to come. Girls and then boys, it's doubleheader action, pod playoffs in the 2021 COVID-modified basketball season. It's the days we've been waiting for, what this season has been building toward, and they have finally arrived in action today. Kate, we've got a dandy here. The girls will go first as the Red Raiders come in with their 8-1 overall record. They'll play host today to a Blue Devil squad that started off strong, came out perfect through their first 4 games, and then stubbed their toe the last time they played the Red Raiders, going 0 for 2 that week, and then it's been a downward trend from there for the Blue Devils, where it's been losses, splits, things just haven't gone the way they wanted, and so the year ends 5-5, perfect split down the middle, 5 wins, 5 losses. Meanwhile, they know coming into this game tonight here at the Doug Grutchfield Fieldhouse here in Fitchburg, they're going to get Paul DiGeronimo's bunch, and they're going to get the best swing at one of them, at one another, as they get set to go through this battle tonight.
Well, I told you earlier in the week that this was the game that I was most excited about all week long. The Leominster-Fitchburg girls matchup, I think, is essentially, it's going to be a dandy. I don't know how close it's going to be. I don't know which way things are going to go, but I was so very impressed with how the Fitchburg Red Raiders came in to the gymnasium at Leominster High School just a few short weeks ago. I was so impressed with their precision. I was so impressed with their passing. And I mean, I was so impressed with Cavins and Council coming out of the gates, out of the blocks, absolutely on fire for Fitchburg. I'm very interested to see in what type of adjustments Coach Frederick from Leominster has been able to get his girls to make. I want to see what those adjustments are, because Fitchburg Red Raiders were a freight train that was not to be stopped in either of the 2 games that Leominster played, neither at home in their first matchup, nor here at the Doug Grutchfield Fieldhouse in Fitchburg in their second matchup, all in the same week. So this is going to be a big test for the Leominster girls to see what they can come up with, especially on defense, to try to stop the offensive production of Cavins and Council, because they've been prolific for Fitchburg in their 2 matchups against Leominster. So I'm incredibly excited to see, number 1, adjustments made by the Blue Devils, and number 2, the scoring spectacle that has been the Fitchburg Red Raiders, especially with scoring contributions and the passing, Council's passing. Just magnificent, masterful. It's poetry to watch her. And then obviously the scoring contributions from Cavins. I'm excited about the whole matchup. You heard it from me earlier last week, and my excitement has only grown.
We're 7 minutes from tip-off here inside the Doug Grutchfield Fieldhouse, or at least 7 minutes from opening introductions of the national anthem for Game 1 of the evening. 5 o'clock, the scheduled tip-off for Fitchburg and Leominster girls. Leominster, the 3 seed, Fitchburg, the 2 seed, hosting this matchup. And then on deck, waiting right behind them in the wings, the boys from these 2 schools. The arch rivals will do battle again, as Leominster finished 3rd in the boys' side of the COVID-modified basketball season in this Pod 6 playoff. They will travel right here to the Doug Grutchfield Fieldhouse in Fitchburg to take on the 2-seeded Red Raider squad, and that game will be right here on Rivalry Family Media as well. We will have a split of streams there. We'll keep you, kind of directing traffic as we continue throughout the evening, and we'll get you to the right place at the right time for the broadcast as we move on throughout the evening. We also, Kate, want to make mention, for those folks that are wondering, why are we looking at Todd and Kate in a split screen in a hallway above the Fieldhouse tonight? Well, this is the ultimate in partnership this evening, working with the great folks at Fitchburg Access Television to set up pool camera feeds. You are the beneficiary of the work that they are going to do this evening. They have a 4-camera shoot. They have availed them to us. They've also availed their graphics to us as well.
Kate's the beneficiary. Now I don't have to do camera or scoreboard tonight. I'm pumped.
So what you see on the left-hand side of your screen, that's the feed coming to us from our friends at Fitchburg Access Television. And obviously, you've got us up here on press row high above courtside for our breaks in between. Kate, we've got a lot to come tonight. In addition to this basketball game, of course, for the boys, we've We've got a senior awards night, or a senior honor night that we're calling it. That'll come up between games as well as at the conclusion of the evening as well. So you're going to want to stay tuned for that as we honor the 3 seniors across the 2 programs, and all 3 of them happen to come from the boys basketball program, as Rusty Frederick's girls squad does not have a senior this year. Oldest players are in their junior year, so they'll have a busy senior night next year. But for the moment, no seniors there, so just 3 boys that will be honored later on this evening. We'll have that for you between games once we split those streams and jump over to the second stream of the night as well. Kate, I'm going to let you take this for a moment. I want to set up and have a conversation about the bracket, how both teams got here.
All right.
But I'll give you a chance to steer for a
So
moment.
I will first and foremost reiterate my thanks to Fitchburg Access Television. Obviously, it takes a lot off of both of our plates, so we're incredibly appreciative for the ability to have their coverage tonight. In addition, wanted to just kind of lament a little bit what a fantastic opportunity tonight is and would have been for the Fitchburg Red Raiders. Imagine if we were not in the midst of a COVID-modified situation and you could have back-to-back playoff games, Leominster versus Fitchburg, granted in a regular season, likely, different divisions, different situation, likely not to happen. So this sets up this pod playoff sets up such a crazy cool opportunity to have back-to-back rivalry games, but the only fans besides everybody up here on press row are cardboard cutouts across the way. And so it's a super cool opportunity, but it's one that's incredibly bittersweet as well. And so I wanted to at least acknowledge that fact, because you get so excited about the rivalry game, and I know that I can feel just in my stomach kind of this heightened excitement in the gym. And there's no one here. You can count on basically 2 hands the number of people that are here to take this one in. But the excitement inside the gym is still here. It's incredibly bittersweet. And so I wanted to kind of mention to the community, we miss having everybody here. That is for certain. But had we not had a COVID situation, this kind of interesting opportunity would not have availed itself to us. So again, just wanted to mention that off the top, that excitement, disappointment, cool, not so cool, just kind of an interesting situation.
The excitement anytime you get these 2 communities together is always palpable, and we can feel it again in the building. To Kate's point, and she is right, we could actually pull a roster out and call attendance of those that are here. I was going to say.
It's like old home night.
I was going to say, it's kind of, it's members only here this evening, but the great part about this is our ability to bring it into your living room, and we're so glad to have that opportunity this evening to be able to bring you here to the Doug Grutchfield Fieldhouse through our partners at Fitchburg Access Television, and obviously with ourselves here in the building as well, to hopefully be able to paint the picture for you and have you be able to feel like you are here over the next 4 hours plus that we will be here with you for double-header basketball. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's talk about the roads to get here for both teams, but we'll just kind of zoom in on the girls in particular action here. And what you can see is obviously top half of the bracket there involves the girls half of the bracket, boys half of the bracket at the bottom of your graphic you see on screen there. So Quabbin, the top seed in this girls division, they finished with identical records to Fitchburg, both 8-1 overall. There was a toss of the coin, and the Red Raiders came up on the hard luck end of that toss of the coin. Instead of having guaranteed home court advantage all the way through, should they win tonight, they would have to go on the road, assuming Quabbin wins in their game. If Quabbin wins and you have a 1-2 matchup, Fitchburg has to travel to Barrie to play Quabbin Regional in girls action, and that game is scheduled because, of course, of the weather and some of the adjustments that had to be made. That game is scheduled for tomorrow night at a time to be determined, suspected to be around 6 o'clock if it's a single game action there. But the Red Raiders finished second, as we mentioned, in this pod, and they had themselves basically a fantastic end. So Leominster will talk about their fantastic beginning. For Fitchburg, it's the fantastic end. The Red Raiders started 3-0, dropped their only game to Quabbin, a 43-33 loss. January 21st was their last loss, and then ripped off 5 straight victories. Swept Leominster, single win over Gardner on the road, swept Narragansett. Here they are as the number 2 seed with an 8-1 overall record. And for Coach Paul DiGeronimo's bunch, when you end on a 5-0 run, you can't ask for much better than that. Meanwhile, for the Blue Devils, finishing third in this pod on the girls' side of things, 4 straight wins to open the year, sweep of Narragansett, sweep of Gardner, then losing 2 to the Red Raiders here in the middle of the year, January 25th and 28th. And then only 1 more win from there. The first game against Oakmont for the Lady Blue Devils, a 47-19 win at home. Since then, 3 straight losses. Ended up with a split with Oakmont and then swept by Quabbin over 2 games in the last couple of weeks. And Kate, that's how the Blue Devils found themselves here.
No, you're absolutely right. I've got another cool thing.
Yes.
You know how in football rivalry matchups they go color on color?
Indeed.
We've got color rush tonight too. We're going color on color for uniforms. It doesn't get any better. It doesn't get any better than this.
Indeed we do. Coaching staffs decked
Love
out
it.
in color as well tonight, as of course most people throughout the basketball world have adopted a more casual look, shall we say, through the start of
Fitchburg
this
does
season
have some of their
as
whites
well.
on. I thought we were going full color on color. They took their warm-ups off. They were.
There you go.
Shoot.
That's all right.
It's all right.
Nobody's-
They've got the shorts going though.
No
Oh,
one-
I'm just so excited.
No
I'm just so
situation
excited.
is perfect, but that's all right. We're looking forward to it, and we are ready for action as we get set here inside the Fieldhouse. As you can see kind of on your screen, the folks at FATV have started their feed as well to the community of Fitchburg. And we will fade into that as well and give you the full look of the floor as they get set for the national anthem and set for introductions as well, Kate, as we get ready for action here inside the Fieldhouse. Number 2, Fitchburg. Number 3, Leominster. Public address introductions will be coming in a moment, followed by the national anthem, and we'll be underway with game 1 of this battle. Kate, the note that we're going to hear, and we'll hear the introductions in a moment, for Leominster, who have had the same starting 5 for every game this season, all 10 games. They've started the same 5 players. It's Nevard, Cudahy, McDonald, Forsberg, Pompey. That's been the same starting 5. Coach Rusty Frederick, first game of the playoffs, has decided there needs to be a change. And so that change comes in the form of Taylor Boulay, who's been first off the bench, the freshman. She will step in for Kylie Cudahy, the sophomore guard, in the starting lineup tonight. And otherwise, that will be the change. But the key for Coach Frederick and the reason for the change, it's just who's the hot hand? Who's the person at this point in time that at the end of the day was playing best, and that's what you need on a night like this. It's a one and done. You win and you move on. You lose, you're done. In a one and done situation, your 5 best get the start.
When you need to leave it all on the court, and as you said, right now you have to play the hot hand, and Coach Frederick clearly wanting to take his chance with the freshman in Taylor Boulay to start over the sophomore Kylie Cudahy. But you know that everybody's going to get, not everybody, but you know that the constant contributors are going to get their time. It's not as if Cudahy's not going to be playing. She's going to get plenty of quality minutes, and it's just a situation of trying to determine what combination is going to work best.
And we join the public address inside the building. Serving as public address announcer this evening in his maybe more familiar role, athletic director Craig Antossi takes the introductions.
On behalf of Fitchburg Public Schools, I would like to take this opportunity to thank FATV for the continued support of Fitchburg athletics by offering live coverage of all of our winter matchups broadcasted live into the homes of our Red Raider community, both local and abroad. And now for tonight's starting lineups, beginning with the visiting Blue Devils from Leominster High School. First up, freshman wearing number 25 this evening, Kira Forsberg. Next up, we have a freshman wearing number 44, Juliana Pompey. Now we have a sophomore wearing number 12, Kylie Cudahy. Next up, we have our first of 2 Blue Devil captains this evening, a sophomore wearing number 4, Isabella Nevard. And last but not least, the junior captain wearing number 15, Ava McDonald. And apparently I made a mistake. Wearing number 3, we have a freshman on the floor, Taylor Boulay. The Blue Devils are led tonight by head coach Rusty Frederick. And now, for the starting lineups for our own Red Raiders. Wearing number 4 this evening, a sophomore, Tanila Council. Next up, a sophomore wearing number 25, Jen Allen. Wearing number 35 in the red and gray, a junior, Nevaeh Grant. Wearing number 11 for the Red Raiders, a junior, Olivia Smith. And last but not least for the Red Raiders, a senior, wearing number 33, Mia Cavins. The Red Raiders are led tonight by head coach Paul DiGeronimo. At this time, I'd ask anyone in attendance to please rise and remove your caps. Find the flag on our far wall. And we'll honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
And with that, we're ready for basketball. We thank the great folks here inside the Doug Grutchfield Fieldhouse in Fitchburg for the hospitality, the introductions, the national anthem, and now it's time for basketball. Pod playoff action, Leominster and Fitchburg. How else would you want it in the opening round of this battle? And that's what we're going to see this evening here inside the Doug Grutchfield Fieldhouse. If you are a lover of the rivalry between these two communities, it doesn't get any better than this. A night completely dedicated to Fitchburg and Leominster. Girls first, boys on deck. They're sitting back at their respective either homes if they're here in Fitchburg or over at the gym in Leominster, waiting for their bus when the time comes to hop on, and away they go. Red Raiders won the opening possession. They will have control, and they will go left to right as we open first quarter action here inside the Doug Grutchfield Fieldhouse. Red Raiders wearing the home white tops, brick red bottoms. Ball is tipped out of bounds. Last touched by the Red Raiders, Graham, and the ball will go back to Leominster. 15 seconds into this one. Leominster wearing the royal blue tops, royal blue bottoms, trimmed in white. White at the shoulders, waistbands, bottom cuffs of the shorts. You've got the running devil on the L on either side of the shorts, and then Leominster arched across the front of the chest.
Now Todd in the last.
As Forsberg opens with a three and hits. It was a little bit of a struggle getting the ball to the timeline, Kate, but over they come. Forsberg got a look and she buried it.
And that's exactly what I wanted to talk about. In their first meeting earlier in the year, Leominster was incredibly taken aback by the full court pressure that Fitchburg's defense had in their face. They could not adjust to it for the entirety of the game. And here you see Fitchburg kind of going back and forth. They had the full court pressure on the first offensive possession. This time they head back, they get into that 2-3 zone.
Forsberg got another look at it and missed that opportunity. Battle for the basketball on the baseline is a Leominster basketball. Last touch by the Red Raiders, so it was an out-of-bounds goal.
But interestingly here, Coach Paul DiGeronimo already shaking things up so that Leominster's offense has to remain on their toes. You never know what you're going to get out of them.
And right now it looks like Leominster is content to stay outside the arc, and they're going to try to dial long distance often tonight. This is Pompey for Boulay, swing it to the right, Nevard. Now she slashes, she's short of the mark, battles counsel for the basketball, last touched by Nevard, out of bounds, and the ball will go to the Red Raiders.
Well, and if you're Leominster, learning from the previous experience that you had in the earlier games, Fitchburg could score at will. So it's almost as if when you're on offense, you're actually getting a little bit of defense. You're slowing things down, you're taking time off the clock, and then you're waiting for your look.
Council down the lane, finger roll up on the support, and it rolls in. Red Raiders are on the board, 6.5 to play here in quarter one. A 3-2 Blue Devil lead.
Now, those who have not had the pleasure of watching Tanaya Council, yes, she can score, but take a look at her distribute the basketball throughout this game. It's poetry.
Nevard's 3-2 strong, ball down in the hands of Graham. She outlets for Council, and down the floor she comes. Council steps back, gets a good look at the floor. She'll hand it off for Smith, then drop it off for Cavins. Cavins, the head fake, drives on Forsberg, denied. Leominster going with a strong matchup zone, trying to keep the Red Raiders on the outside of the arc. Back and forth they go. This is a head fake from Smith. Smith to the corner, pops along two, rims in and out, rebound down in the hands of Pompey.
Smith had a nice look there from three. Again, both teams being pretty patient and staying along the outside of that three-point perimeter until they can find the look they want in the paint.
Nice interior pass. Nevard found Pompey, couldn't finish. Last touched off McDonald, in the ball to the Red Raiders. 5.5 left to play here in quarter one, a 3-2 lead for the blue and white. And thus far, Kate, the one thing I've noticed a little different maybe from the first matchup and maybe over the last couple of weeks as well, Leominster looks less scattered out on the floor.
I would agree with you, and not only that, they've been able to come, or at least quell, the Fitchburg scoring on offense. By this point in the previous game, it was almost a double-digit lead coming right out of the chute. Leominster looking much more poised early going.
As Council tries the runner, she wills it to the front of the rim, and down it goes.
The difficulty for Leominster is going to be you're going to need to stop two incredibly prolific scorers in both Council and Cavins. Right now, Cavin's quiet in the early going, but Council doing her job and picking up the team on the scoring end of things.
Forsberg, left hand, cross it over to the right, fling it from the tough angle, bang the window, and down it goes. Leominster gains the 1-point lead.
And Forsberg right now, the only scoring contribution for Leominster, so right now she is generating all the offense.
Cross court, that one was tipped. It was ill-advised. Blue Devils couldn't take advantage of it. They knock it out of bounds, and the ball will stay with the Red Raiders. 5 seconds into this possession. This is Smith. Smith to trigger. Inbound, Nevard challenges, fronting Cavins, will slap it away. Takes another couple seconds off the possession, 23 to shoot.
I've got some interesting statistics. FATV not only giving us their feed, but their play-by-play announcement.
Float over the top, this is Council, deflected, found its way home, laid in and good. That was down floor. I didn't get a good look on who had that.
I'll take it. Hold on. I've got it. Yes.
And a timeout on the floor. Coach Paul DiGeronimo, I know he wants a timeout, and they're going to give it to him
Allen.
out on the floor. Thank you, Kate. I appreciate that. I didn't get a good look at the jersey number. The long ponytails tonight causing me a little trouble from the high above courtside spot.
So one of the things that I wanted to also note was we have some phenomenal season-long statistics that have been generously donated to us from the play-by-play announcer for FATV as well, from Daniel Bolak. And these are incredibly extensive season-long statistics. And the interesting thing, we talk about the scoring contributions from Cavins. This year, thus far, she is third in scoring. She's tied for third with scoring with Jen Allen for the team. Tanaya Council in last season she was fourth for scoring. This year, she has the most points for the entirety of the Red Raider team. So she has rocketed up from last year into this year. And usually, I mean, you hear about Cavins' name before you even get to a game against Fitchburg. This year, Tanaya Council, has not even sneakily, she's just taken the basketball and said, thank you very much. I'll lead the scoring if you let me.
And it's all about remembering where she is on the floor. I mean, that's clearly right. The two numbers, 4 and 33. Council and Cavins, those are the two players that Leominster has to know where they are at all times, offensively and defensively.
And Council has that multiple dimensional threat because her distribution of the basketball has been so prolific for the Lady Red Raiders.
Cuddy steps into the basketball game and then gets bumped on the play and immediately dropping it back to Nevard. Cudahy stepping in here to spell Boulay in the early going. Expect to see them working in and out. As Forsberg goes cross court in the backcourt, finds Nivard, who takes it over the timeline.
Been really pleased to see how poised Leominster has been, especially on offense. They were scattered when we saw them last time going up against the Red Raiders, and they look poised right now.
Cudahy launches a three and hits. Halfway through this first quarter, it's an 8-6 Leominster lead.
She may not have started, but we knew she would contribute.
Council looked long distance for Allen, too far, and the ball will go back to the blue and white.
Turnover number 3 for the Red Raiders.
Leominster's got the long distance to cover. As Forsberg stuck in a spot, she will get a little help from McDonald and then carry it up floor. Through the hands of Cudahy, too far, and the ball right back to Fitchburg. And Kate, there's that, potential that we're starting to see. We know it's in there, that exuberance, that effort to excess. Leominster's got to fight those nervous butterflies because they cannot let this get out of hand.
Well, and passing has not been their forte all season long, but I've been incredibly pleased to see how calm, cool, and collected they've been beginning their transition.
Cavins makes it to the baseline. Shot may have been bothered. The loose ball ended up in the hands of McDonald. And now Cavin hits the floor. She got tied up with Pompey. Leominster takes it front court, right to left. Pompey with an unbalanced floor. We'll drop it back to Forsberg at the foul line, then get it back straight away, 15 to shoot.
Gotta settle things down here.
Indeed, here comes Cudahy. Cudahy drops it inside looking for Nivard. That's gonna end up tied up on the floor. Alternate possession will favor Leominster.
3 errant passes, bounce passes, back to back to back. Distributing the basketball has been a bugaboo for the Lady Blue Devils. Having the court awareness of where your teammates are and being able to get a crisp pass to them has been a difficulty.
There was a reset on the shot clock as the basketball came loose. And they're gonna say there was a lost possession. So it is, nope, they wound it down. They took it back down to 8 seconds. Coach Frederick has a conversation with the officials. There's 8 on the shot clock. Here's the inbound. Cudahy crosses for Nivard. 5 to shoot, pops the 3. Hard in and out, rebound run down there by Cavins.
That's one of those situations where if you're going to take that perimeter shot, you need somebody underneath the basket to clean it up to give you multiple bites at that apple.
Right back down floor. This was Smith. Caught the side of the rim. Rolled out to the wing. Found Pompey. Up floor in transition for Nivard. No finish at the rim. Right into the basketball game. There's Sabina Marwa. 2 shots at it. Can't finish. Nivard the loose ball. Drive the lane. Get fouled. And Nivard's going the line to shoot 2.
Favorite thing, what is Marwa doing there to be able to get that rebound? But she's so effective at it. She just put her body placement on a rebound as one of the shortest people out on the court. 8 out of 10 times she's going to come out with at least a touch on the basketball for a rebound. She's unbelievable.
Nivard hard in and out on the first opportunity. Players will take their spots in the lane. Remember, that's one of the COVID modifications now into our 6th week we're starting to see. And the second one will go. 9-6, Leominster's lead is 3, 2.5 to play here in the first quarter.
First points on the board for Nivard.
Smith, the drive-in shift into the middle of a pile, battle to the floor. Foul is called on Cudahy. She was second defender coming across the body there. It's going to be a good call, and they will charge this one again to Cudahy, her first.
And once again, Nivard again, only 1 point thus far. It's still early going, but she is the primary scoring threat for Leominster. If Leominster wants to be successful here, they're going to need to have a prolific scoring night from their number 1 scorer out of Nivard.
Turnaround shot for Smith, long of the mark, run down there by Hecker. First into the basketball game, first touch immediately in. She'll reset for Council, 20 to shoot, 2:15 to play here in quarter 1. This is Smith. Drives, door closed, tried a second drive to the lane. Nivard, the double-fisted swat ball out of bounds. Will stay with the Red Raiders with 11 to shoot.
That was a beautiful display of defense by
That was
Nivard.
Negron, Kate, who drove the lane and found the door closed there. Smith for Council. Final 2 minutes of the first quarter, and an offensive foul. That one away from the basketball. Negron gets called for the push-off, and the ball will go back to Leominster.
Now with Negron, we had seen some frustration on the last offensive possession prior to the whistle. And here, little check on her way by. Coach DiGeronimo will get that cleaned up, get that calmed down.
Poise may be the name of the game. The most poised team in this matchup tonight has the best chance. Cudahy not looking poised there. That one thrown away. Council
Nice
with the hustle
try.
play into the curtain. Not able to keep it alive, but a fantastic effort.
And when we saw her the last time, in the last game that we had the opportunity to see her, she will sacrifice her body at every single chance she has in order to save a ball for her team, in order to keep a ball for her team. She has been spectacular.
Cudahy painted herself into a corner right at the middle of the floor. And so Coach Rusty Frederick bails her out with the timeout. Stops the clock with 1 minute, 39 seconds to play here in the first quarter. A 9-6 lead for Leominster. Just the 3 points separate the two teams. And Kate, although Leominster found themselves on the wrong end of things the last time these two teams matched up, early on in that game, Leominster took an early lead, got to about double digits, and then all of a sudden Fitchburg turned it on. And when they turned it on and they made their run, Leominster was never able to respond through the remainder of that first quarter, and it just got progressively worse as that game progressed.
Well, I mean, if you take a look at the stats from the last game between these two teams, Fitchburg had a 17-point advantage by the end of the first quarter. Leominster was only able to put 2 points on the board in the first quarter, all together, all told, and it was from Smith. So right now, I've been really pleased to see what's been going on both sides of the ball. Leominster looking better in transition, still struggling with their passing, still struggling with turnovers. Leominster much more poised, especially on offense, which is very interesting. They were not poised the last time that we saw these two teams on their offensive end. Fitchburg right now, they're not setting the pace as much as they had previously, but again, they're not panicking either. They know that they're going to get scoring contributions. They have fantastic players out there. The interesting thing is that Leominster's defense has been able to keep Cavins to no points thus far. That's going to be big. Again, you've got to keep Cavins and Council quiet. And right now, Leominster's been able to keep Cavins quiet.
Mevard drives the lane, jump stop called for the walk, and the ball will go back to the Red Raiders. Final 92 seconds of the first quarter. Here comes Council. Straight stack through the middle of the lane. Negron flashes through Cavins. Middle of the lane, Graham. Graham goes left, then comes back right. Missed the shot on the corner of the support. Rebound down for Nevard.
You see Nevard trying to take this game over for the Blue Devils.
Suddenly, though, points have come to a premium as we wind down toward the final minute of this first quarter.
Pace is starting to get a little bit more frantic.
Smith plays catch, gets an opportunity from straight away. Hard in and out. Rebound down for Cavins. Final 50 seconds of the first quarter in a three-point basketball game. Council kicks, puts it in the hands of Hecker. Hecker rattles it home. A one-point game with 40 seconds to play here in the first quarter, and Coach DiGeronimo goes immediately to the full-court pressure. Marwa opens up the opportunity. Down the lane comes Pompey. She'll finish at the rim. And Leominster reclaims the three-point lead. Final 30 seconds of the first quarter.
That's going to be crucial for both teams. They're going to have to be able to respond when the other team is being successful. And right now, Fitchburg has been able to do that.
Graham shifted the feet, taking the ball to the basket. A walk called. Ball back to Leominster. Shot clock off. 19 and a half seconds to play here in the first quarter.
It's so much fun.
Indeed. From high above courtside, Kate, this was pretty much the view Johnny most enjoyed at the Old Garden for all those years.
It's tropical up here.
Indeed it is, as it was there as well.
Marwa
layers. Tiptoes through the lane, got it on the rim, no finish. Rebound down for Cavins. Council's got it with 3 seconds to play. Now 2, go 1. Shot was deflected, and that's the way the first quarter will come to an end. Through one quarter here at the Doug Grutchfield Fieldhouse in Fitchburg. Leominster with the 3-point lead, 11-8 through one quarter of basketball.
Wow.
Indeed, Kate.
This one's going to be a treat. We were looking to see how Leominster would respond after the 2 losses earlier in the season to Fitchburg, and we've seen them be able to come up with an answer not only to Fitchburg's full court pressure on defense, but in addition to their prolific scoring on offense. 1 quarter down, And for Leominster, you've got to be incredibly happy with that effort. But now you've got to put 3 more quarters together in order to get a ball game. On Fitchburg's side of the ball, now they're going to have to make some small adjustments. They're going to have to get Cavins involved on offense. She's doing a great job rebounding for them. She's clearly a physical presence out there that you have to make sure that you maintain your concentration on. But if you're going to be successful, if you're Fitchburg, you need that tandem. You need that duo of Council and Cavins, plus the supporting cast contributing as well if you want to be successful. And right now, Leominster's been able to make some adjustments that have been very interesting and effective thus far. A very close game. I'm excited.
We welcome our fantastic fans joining us across Rivalry Family Media's coverage. Facebook.com/Media Rivalry for the live premieres. YouTube.com, search and like and subscribe to Rivalry Family Media today. In order to get the on-demand coverage available same day as well. And for those of you that are regular viewers here on Rivalry Family Media, if you are looking at the visuals going, my, this is visually stunning, there is nothing
That's
more.
it's not us.
That's because I was going to say, Billy and Kate are off the camera tonight. We thank the great folks, pool partnership here inside the gym at Fitchburg High School tonight here inside the Fieldhouse. We thank the great folks at Fitchburg Access Television offering us pool coverage this evening, so we have access to everything that they're able to see and offer their viewers across the FATV channels and streams as well. Want to thank their executive director, Nate Glennie, for his partnership, Travis Falk for technically working out all of the particulars in order to make one streamlined broadcast work together. And we thank them for their fantastic support this evening on being able to offer this pool coverage.
How nice it is just to be able to talk to you. Do you know
it's nice to have somebody to just talk to,
I know.
As it turns out. And we've got a whole lot more basketball to come. For those of you that are on your way home or maybe just got home, we're just getting started. We've got dinner, we've got dessert, we've got a nightcap as well. Hang with us. We've got a lot of exciting basketball. We'll be with you for at least 4 hours and then some as we continue here inside the gym tonight. Great to have you along with us. 5 seconds into this second quarter. And immediately a throwaway turnover by the Red Raiders. Ball back to Leominster. And Leominster's got the basketball 5 seconds into this second quarter. Marwa and Cudahy, play catch coming over the half. Then Nevar finds Marwa, middle of the paint. Up she goes, hard in and out. Got her own rebound. Second opportunity, gets the finish. 13-8, 7.5 to play here in the second quarter.
Nothing that you can say other than scrappy. Just, she is scrappy.
Scrappy, determined.
Yes.
All of those things speak volumes.
She's a coach's dream.
Oh, without a doubt. This is Allen. Kick back Smith. Smith drives up against McDonald, gave up her feet. It got deflected to Allen, missed on the second opportunity. Loose basketball picked up by Hecker, and the Red Raiders get a fresh 30.
Really impressed with Fitchburg's rebounding. Every single time a shot goes up, there are 4 jerseys.
Cavins drives the lane, gets fouled. Signal looks like foul on the floor, so it'll be possession Red Raiders. The foul looked like it was charged to Smith. 7:04 to play here in quarter two. Leominster with the 13-8 lead, and Kate at best tenuous would describe things thus far.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that.
Smith floats for Council, deflected by Cudahy. Takes a couple seconds off the clock.
Interesting choice there, throwing that into a double team. Leominster able to swat that one away, doing a nice job on defense. Fitchburg going to the stack.
Yeah, they go with a straight line stack. Foul line extended for all offensive inbounds.
We're having a uniform situation. Tuck that shirt in, everybody.
And here we go. Cavins for Council. Council from straight away. Drives the lane, got stripped by Marwa. Marwa ahead of the pack on the break. Contact may have bothered this shot. Pressure from behind, it was tipped out of bounds. Last touched by the red and gray. Basketball stays with Leominster.
A nice job by Smith to be able to deflect that ball. Marwa looked over her right shoulder for help and saw there's nobody here. You're going to have to take care of this one on your own. And Smith doing a nice job to disturb her to make sure that the basket is not made.
Inside Marwa, playing the low block. Shot off the glass, no good. Cavins with the rebound, held on as she draws the foul.
And that'll be Marwa for Leominster. Again, she is everywhere, absolutely everywhere.
Okay, this isn't a perfect parallel, but it's the best way I can describe it. If you've ever met a Chihuahua,
Oh,
and,
no.
and a Chihuahua just thinks it's like the biggest dog you can imagine, a Rottweiler, a Great Dane.
Yeah.
Like a Chihuahua has no clue how tall it actually is in the grand scheme of things. And when I watch Marwa play, that's the closest parallel I can think of. She has no clue or care how tall she actually is. As Council goes coast to coast, lays it in and good, and draws it within 3, Marwa doesn't care. She'll take on any comer, regardless of the size. Giveaway there by Smith. Council with the steal to the rim. It's 2 for 1 for Council, and she closes it to a 1-point game.
You're absolutely right about that relative to Marwa. She's just relentless, absolutely relentless.
Into the front court comes the Blue Devils.
Ooh,
Boulay being bothered at the foul line. And you can hear the energy. Coach Paul DiGeronimo's bunch, they've picked up the enthusiasm. They want 3 for 1 if they could possibly pull it off.
This is the first time since Boulay touches the ball a few times. She's looked very much
Smith, a 3! Bang with the bank shot.
like a freshman.
And make it a 4-point Leominster lead, and it quiets things down a little bit inside the Fieldhouse tonight. This is Council to the corner for Allen. Bothered, but corralled. She'll kick, gets a look for Smith. 3 away, back rim, no. Smith, her own follow, put up the shot, draws the foul on McDonald. Smith's got 2 shots coming from the line. Make it no. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody was moving away like as if they were going down floor.
Because they're not allowed to be there.
I was going to say, yeah, that's one of the many things I will never get used to. Nobody standing in the lane. One of the COVID modifications. Again, remember, as the first falls for Smith. On a 2-shot foul, the first shot will be an empty lane. On a 3-shot foul, the first 2 shots will be empty. On a 1-and-1 opportunity, everybody will stand their positions. Basically, the rule modification was made to protect the athletes and limit the amount of time they spend directly standing next to each other in a circumstance where there is no rebound possibility on a shot. That was a line drive into the front rim, so 1 of 2 on the trip, this time for Smith. Here comes Nevar, tiptoes through the lane. Lay-in is good. 5-point basketball game.
Body up. She shimmied that shoulder as soon as she got into the paint, able to make that move. Nobody wanted to make the contact.
Smith again, runner, push shot. Bank is open. And the lead, just 3. Under 5 minutes to play here in the first half, heading down toward that halftime mask break. Forsberg for McDonald. Corner Nevard looks to respond. Long on the mark. Forsberg runs it down. Tips it alive. Pompey. Johnny on the spot. Lay it in and good.
And that's what we talk about, having multiple attempts on offense. Nevard has the open look, tries to take the 3. There's someone there to rebound the ball, redistribute it. You get 2 more cracks at it, and then Pompey is able to make the basket.
Baseline drive. Nevard threw her body at the action. Did not help the scenario, but didn't hurt things either, Kate. Ball ends up out of bounds.
Last time on offense, once again, having multiple attempts when you're on offense, having those offensive rebounds, giving yourself second and third opportunities, that's not something we've seen the Leominster girls do all season long, and it's something that, thankfully, they've shown up to do tonight.
From a tough angle on the baseline drive, somehow Nevard extends the arm and banks the shot in. 22-15, halfway through this second quarter of action. This is Smith, tries the push, battle for the basketball, bodies to the floor. Smith tries to re-corral, still loose, held ball the call. And the alternate possession, the signal is Leominster basketball. Negron will check back in for the Red Raiders. She will spell Smith, who had a fantastic shift out on the floor.
Absolutely wonderful. Negron with 3 fouls, though, here in the early going for Fitchburg. On defense, she has been tremendous, but has picked up 3 fouls. Once again, that pressure from Fitchburg on defense. Boulay's bringing it down for Leominster.
And she'll feed Forsberg, then right back. Forsberg gets the look from straight away, rattles it down.
And those are the types of shots that have not been falling for Leominster all season long, and what a day to make those ones hit.
Largest lead of the night as Negron steps up to a long 2. Hard roll in and out. Pompey down with the rebound. Nevard guns it up middle of the floor. Boulay felt something coming around her back, actually dipped her head, and was able to hand the ball back to Pompey, who was third person back. Boulay now the drive into traffic, got bumped off the play, but the rebound down in the hands of Cavan in great position.
4 people around her. There were a lot of blue jerseys that weren't being covered.
Cavan's trying to get something going. Too strong off the back rim. The rebound for Nevard. Threw it away. Negron with the pick. Now back to Cavans. Red Raiders will reset the floor. 22 to shoot on this second opportunity. Bounce inside. Left wing Allen jumper. Hard front rim. Tipped. Last touched by Allen. And it'll be Blue Devil basketball.
Some interesting shot choices by Fitchburg tonight. I'm noticing poise kind of starting to be chiseled away. And Fitchburg making some interesting shot choices, not falling. Some of those mid-range jumpers, right when they get the basketball, they're not waiting for their look. They're not waiting to distribute the basketball and make something happen.
At our next stoppage of play, Kate, I want to talk a little bit more, explore this a little bit more for you about how the schedule was balanced out. Down along the baseline, this is Marwa for Pompey. 3 away does not go. Cudahy battles Cavans for the rebound and then commits the foul as Cavans came up with it.
I know where you're going with this.
Yeah, so Kate, when you look at the schedule here, we talked about this. Leominster starts the year 4-0. And both teams, boys and girls, had this. Started the year 4-0. And everybody said, ooh, you know, they played Gardner, they played Narragansett, you know, great, look out for Leominster. They blew out Narragansett and Gardner in 4 straight games. And then, meanwhile, the Red Raiders, they played Oakmont and Quabbin, the other half, the better basketball half, if you will, of this Pod 6. And the Red Raiders' record was really stellar. They had lost 1 game in a split to Quabbin, and other than that, they looked great coming into that 3rd week battle. And then the Red Raiders swept the Blue Devils over 2 games. And it just looked very much like the Red Raiders were the dominant basketball team. But now fortune switched coming down the back half of the schedule. Leominster has played Oakmont and Quabbin, and Fitchburg has played Gardner and Narragansett. Do you feel a little bit like it's given them perhaps a false sense of security, much the same way that it happened to Leominster in the first half of the year?
Potentially Fitchburg has fallen into kind of a downshift trap where they've had such an easy go of it in the second half of the season.
Cudahy's 3 knocked down by Cavan. Loose ball, Smith. Shot clock violation. It's Red Raider basketball. That's defensive coverage to its finest. Coach DiGeronimo's zone holds out there on the floor. Sorry, Kate, back to your point.
No, my point is done. I think that having kind of that unbalanced schedule benefited Leominster at the beginning of the season, and then it causes some bugaboos later on, but it may have prepared them for this instance, whereas Fitchburg had the opposite. Their beginning of the season really kind of let them get their sea legs under them, but now they're no longer the beneficiaries of being really sharp.
Tipped ball, a battle comes out to the floor. Cudahy tied up with Negron and Council, and the alternate possession will favor the Red Raiders. 1:14 to play here in the second quarter, a 10-point lead, the largest lead of the night for Leominster, largest lead for either team in this first half, and now the officials will come together and have a conversation.
Tremendous.
And there's no change. Held ball was the call. The inbound will come for Smith at foul line extended. Final minute 14 of the first half. Council wide open, says, you give that to me, I'll take it, and I'll make you pay. There's a 3-point basket for Council. Red Raiders immediately on the make, go to the full court pressure. Final 60 seconds of the second.
Council now with 11 points on the night. The interesting one, Cavans still with none.
Forsberg can't finish, driving against 2 Red Raiders, and the rebound for Cavans. Back down floor, gun to the baseline. That one not gonna go. Out with it here, and then a whistle and a foul on the rebounding action. And it looks like they charged Smith for it.
They're hoping so, because if that goes against Negron, that'll be her 4th. So they're hoping that goes against.
And now there's a question on who the foul was charged to. They do correct it. It is Negron that gets charged with the foul.
So that'll be her 4th.
And now there's a conversation as the official book. So again, remember, each school responsible for their layout. And here at the Doug Grutchfield Fieldhouse in Fitchburg, Athletic Director Craig Antossi, the beneficiary of a heck of a lot of space. So he's been able to, for COVID protocols, basically split his official table. He has the 2 official scorers opposite the main table where you have the clock and shot clock being kept. And then you have the benches set out in that checkerboard pattern across and opposite the official table, keeping everybody safe, everybody at a wide distance. But the officials then have to report the fouls to 2 different locations.
It's okay. They'll get their steps in.
Indeed they do. Final 30 seconds of the first half. The bounce back, top of the key. Forsberg, head fake, kick corner, Nivard. Fires up the 3 and hits. 28-18.
8 points on the night so far for the Lady Blue Devils. That's their leading scorer for the season.
Jumper will not go for Graham. Battle for the basketball. Out with it, Council. Another opportunity. 5 seconds to play now till halftime. It's Cavins with 2 to play for Allen. Allen throws it up at the buzzer. Long of the mark. And that is the way the first half of play will come to a close. Leominster with a 28-18 lead over the second-seeded Red Raiders thus far.
This was not what I was expecting coming in here today. I was concerned about Leominster being able to efficiently and effectively make the type of adjustments that they needed to put Fitchburg on their heels. And thus far, through 2 quarters, they have been able to do that. But make no mistake about it, you have a very seasoned, veteran-laden Fitchburg Red Raider girls team out there. And Coach Paul DiGeronimo is a veteran coach who's not going to allow them to lose their cool. You still have half of the game of basketball to go, and it's a it's a sizable lead that Leominster has. But make no mistake about it, those can evaporate as soon as you get Cavins or Council hot. And again, Cavins right now relegated to no points. She's been masterful rebounding the ball. She's been very good on defense, but no points on offense for Cavins, who has been their prolific scorer for multiple years now. She's the name that you hear. Oh, Cavins did this. Oh, Cavins did that. Right now, Leominster's defense able to hold her to no points. Council, of course, able to pick things up, part of the way, but you can't expect her to score every single time she goes down there. She can't distribute the ball as the point to herself.
That's right.
I mean, she can, but it's very difficult to do that on every single.
It's a team game is the point, right?
So right now you have scoring contributions for Fitchburg coming from 4 different players, but the one notable miss on there right now is Cavins with no points thus far on the score sheet for the Lady Red Raiders. On the other side of the ball, Nivard's been doing a fantastic job on offense and defense. She has been out there. Every single time she goes in, she just is in every single play. On offense and on defense, she's rebounding. She's running the point half the time. And then when she takes a spell, you've got Marwa going out there, and she is causing just as much of a disruption, and especially in the rebounding action, having the shortest person on the floor rebounding the heck out of the ball. This is a treat on either side. I'm looking forward to seeing what type of adjustments get made. I'm looking to see how Fitchburg is able to respond in the second half.
And that is certainly going to be the name of the game, response time. Can the Red Raiders find a way to respond? What is Coach Paul DiGeronimo drawing up right now? Both teams, as we saw the last time they met, have abandoned their benches, and they've gone over and they've got the intense whiteboard sessions going right now to draw up some adjustments. Coach DiGeronimo's adjustments far exceeded Coach Frederick's adjustments in the first meeting between these 2 teams that we had on Rivalry Family Media. We'll be excited to see kind of who comes up with what going into the second half.
I do want to express our thoughts going out to a few people in the Fitchburg Red Raider community this week. We got word that longtime play-by-play announcer for FATV, Dave Clark, was undergoing.
I will also add, before you go any further, if we're going to add his resume, longtime FATV play-by-play announcer, longtime Twin City play-by-play announcer, schoolboy football announcer at WEIM, going long back into the late 70s. Dave Clark, my immediate predecessor on the radio side as well. I can't kind of be remiss. He is a local play-by-play legend.
Yes.
And then I'll let you continue.
No, if you want to take it.
No, please.
Ahead.
I just wanted to fill in the resume.
Our thoughts are with him. We know that he had, I believe it was a cardiac procedure. He was slated to have that. And so our thoughts are with him. I had the opportunity to work with his daughter Kate for some time, and then also to Sean Sweeney. We know that he is home safe and sound after having a very significant procedure as well. So 2 Fitchburg greats there We're thinking of you.
The scribe
Yes,
of Fitchburg. I know he is out there for sure as McDonald takes the drive to the lane, gets bumped, but she walked with it, and the ball will go back to the Red Raiders. And Kate, no, great job with that message. Don't want to miss the opportunity to acknowledge Dave Clark and Sean Sweeney, both of them who I know would love to be here this evening and are not able to be. And hopefully we are able to provide a little bit of excitement for them through this coverage this evening.
We don't want to get the heart rates going.
I was going to say excitement in doctor-approved fashion.
That's right.
As the case may be. But guys, we look forward to seeing you soon. Down floor, this is Council with the three that will not go. And the loose ball run down by Boulay. 7:20 to play here in the third quarter. Leominster going left to right in this second half. Wearing the road royal blue tops, bottoms trimmed in white at the shoulders, waistband, and the bottom cuffs. The steal by Council. Council to the lane. Scoop shot through a double team. Won't go. Deflected to the baseline. Last touched by Leominster. Red Raiders keep the basketball. And now there's a conversation as Forsberg gets a cautionary tale from the official. A little preventative officiating. Just about a minute into this third quarter. Three-pointer away, in and out for Cavins. She has had a tough go of it tonight, and it's not for lack of effort.
She's only had the opportunity to take a few shots, but like you said.
And Nivard jumps the passing lane, down floor to the basket. Council runs back into the play to deflect it away. Great scramble there by Tanila Council. Leominster will keep the basketball with a fresh 30.
You cannot count her out of a single play on the court until a ball is completely and utterly out of bounds, or unless a ball is completely and utterly in a basket, do not count her out of a play.
Forsberg goes baseline looking for McDonald, who ran it down with nowhere to go and then walked with it, and the ball will go back to the Red Raiders. Great defense setting up there to keep the Blue Devils from having a clean entry pass. Back down floor comes Council. Red Raiders going right to left here in the second half, wearing the home white tops, brick red bottoms with the gray trim. Body check in both directions. The foul rightly called on Nivard, who tried to jump the lane again. Jumping the lane is all fine and good, but you can't hip them off the play on your way by.
Well, and it's interesting. I mean, her anticipation there was fantastic because Fitchburg has not been telegraphing their passes. Generally, you can see when that happens and someone is able to jump the lane. Nivard, though, full out, just superwoman, full out. Full horizontal to the rest of the court.
Ball deflected into Allen, tried to get it back out. It got tipped. This is Cudahy. Finds Nivard ahead of the play, not able to finish. And there was a little bit of help by Smith to bother her and throw her off the angle. This is Council. Through Smith, picked by Nivard again. And the teams exchange turnovers. We're stuck at our halftime score at 28-18. Nobody has scored a basket here in the second half. Nivard will take a three. Short of the mark, out of bounds. Right back to the Red Raiders goes the basketball. High above courtside here on Rivalry Family Media this evening inside the Doug Grutchfield Fieldhouse in Fitchburg. Todd Robbins alongside Kate Robbins, and happy to have you along with us and happy to have access, thanks to our great partners at Fitchburg Access Television, to pool coverage this evening, able to offer these fantastic views to you while we bring you the play-by-play call.
Just many thanks.
Indeed. Bounce back to the top of the key.
Thanks.
The drive. This is Council. 10 to shoot. She'll drop it off to Cavins. Inside Hecker, back out. In the left wing, it's Graham. Caught the side of the ring, no, and down with the rebound. This time it's Pompey.
Somebody's going to have to settle something down, like you said, so that points can go on the board.
Pompey into the paint, pushes it up on the rim, got a little help from the glass, and down it goes, and somebody is on the board almost halfway through this third quarter. Leominster at the 30-18 lead, and now their largest lead of the night is 12.
And Pompey now with 6 points for the Lady Blue Devils.
This is Smith, an immediate response, and she hits.
She's got 6 points on the night as well. The threes have been flying. Fitchburg so far has 2 of them. Leominster has 3 of them. Perimeter shooting a hot hand.
Marwa for McDonald, open, can't finish the lay-in. Last deflection off Hecker, and Leominster keeps the basketball with 28 to
Coach
shoot.
Rusty Frederick wanting a foul there. He was adamant. He's now pleading his case. Argumentative, persuasive, let's say persuasive.
Chewing.
Discussion.
Chewing on that, and he dropped immediately to the coach Ron Mazzaferro one-knee conversation. I've seen that before.
You know things are serious when.
Forsberg launches a three and buries it.
That's her third three, so pardon me. On Leominster's side of the ball, they have 5 threes on the night as a team, and here's Cavins.
To respond, she's short off the front rim, and for the senior Cavins, I know she's frustrated. Council, though, with the pick. She'll feed Graham coming back into the play. She'll lay it in and good, and the lead is 10 once again, halfway through this third quarter.
And if Leominster wants to continue to be
And
effective.
Cavins with the immediate pick of Forsberg. Up floor for Council. Council the one bounce, lay-in won't go, and Forsberg the rebound. She'll throw it away immediately at midcourt. It's Hecker. Hecker, then for Council. Wide open three. Front rim, no. Long rebound. Tipped, still loose. Council comes up with it. And the Red Raiders will rebalance the floor. 25 to shoot on the third opportunity on this possession. Head fake, Cavins the drive. Into McDonald's body. No go, but Hecker keeps it alive on the baseline. A fourth opportunity.
We've got coaching staffs on both sides very upset that the whistles have
A
been
tipped
put away.
basketball out with it, the Red Raiders. That was deflected into the backcourt so they could bring it back in. And then there's a foul away from the ball. And Coach Paul DiGeronimo and Coach Rusty Frederick get cautioned as they have a conversation out on the floor. And Coach DiGeronimo wants to spend the timeout. 3:24 to play in the third quarter. Leominster's lead is 10 at 33-23.
And in earnest, rightfully so, on both ends of the court, there have been absolute necessities for whistles on rebounding actions on both ends of the court. Rusty Frederick had his piece, and you know that Coach Paul DiGeronimo is going to go right into somebody's back pocket. He will regularly spend a timeout in order to plead his case, and in both instances, for Leominster and for Fitchburg, I think both coaches, rightfully so, have a gripe. You can't just put the whistle away and then not do anything.
In both cases, they have let them play in the first half of action. There wasn't a ton of whistles. Nobody got to the bonus in the first half of action.
Yeah.
So the officials have stayed out of the way. Fouls are just
But
1 to none
they're
right now.
staying out of the way, and then there's disappearing into the shrubbery. And
Yes,
that's
indeed.
exactly what's happening
The Homer
right
Simpson
now.
meme out there right now.
We're Homer Simpsoning, we're disappearing into the shrubbery, and we have to have some whistles, because especially with regard to these two teams, okay? If you let these two teams go off the rails, then you're gonna lose control. Absolutely going to lose control. I don't care who you are, and we've said it. It doesn't matter if you are out there playing tiddlywinks or if you're out there playing varsity football. You let these two teams have complete latitude,
Yes,
and have
free reign
complete
at one
autonomy
another.
and free reign, there's going to be a problem. And so there has to be some preventative officiating. And we've seen both coaches pleading for the whistles. So in both of those instances, probably within the last 2 to 3 minutes of game clock, I would think rightfully so. We need whistles on both ends.
Yes, indeed. Tighten things up a little bit.
Just a smidge.
Just a little.
Just a smidge.
They've
It's a
made it-
balance. It's a balance.
They've made a correction on the board. Fouls 2 called against Leominster to none called against the Red Raiders here in the third quarter. Red Raiders with the basketball, half court to our left. Smith is directing traffic with Marwa right on top of her. Cross courts for Negron. Back top of the key, this is Cavins. Triple threat position, she decides to dribble. Takes it down the lane, got fouled, and Cavins got a shot for 2 at the line. And for Cavins, this now just a little bit more than halfway through the third quarter is an opportunity to get on the score sheet, which has been notable in her not having scored a basket thus far.
Again, not for lack of trying, and she's been masterful on defense.
And she will hit the first, and a well-deserved 1 point on the sheet. As, like you said, Kate, not for lack of effort, to say the least, for Cavin, as the players will take their spots on the lane. 3:05 to play here in the third. Cavins with an iron quite kind. It will drop, I think she's having a bit of either a mask issue or
no,
something.
it's more than that. Both of the offensive possessions, I think she's got a nosebleed.
Oh, entirely
Both
possible.
Both of the offensive possessions, the one without the whistle and then the one with the whistle, she took it right in the facial/neck area. And you have a situation where I think she does have a nosebleed now.
Double dribble called against Marwa, and right back to the Red Raiders goes the basketball. 33-25, an 8-point basketball game. Whistles for substitutions coming into the game.
And we talked, sorry.
No, that's okay, Kate.
We talked about unforced errors being a problem for Leominster, and that bugaboo continues. 14 turnovers already with 3 minutes to go in the third quarter.
Coach Frederick barking from his bench, trying to get his defense to respond. First touch into the game. This is Abby Stone, the sophomore, seeing some of her first action in place of Cavins.
I don't want to belabor the point relative to Cavins.
Negron pops a three. Too strong. Rebound down for Smith.
However, she was out there at the line having whatever issue she was having in her mask, and so the official actually asked her if she was okay, and she said, give me the ball.
Yeah,
give me the ball.
Let me take my free throws.
Yep.
Open on the low block, it's Boulay, goes high off window, won't go. Hecker comes out of the pack with the rebound. 2:20 to play here in the third quarter.
But talk about sacrifice. She has doubled over a trash can right now, and she took both of those shots and made both of those shots for her team. Talk about veteran leadership.
The left wing jumper from Stone won't go. Pompey falling out of bounds, able to find Nivard. Gets it right back, then goes up floor for Cudahy. Cudahy, the left elbow. Shot is short to the end line, out of bounds, and the basketball back to the Red Raiders.
Turnover number 15.
Back and forth we go in the third quarter of this one. Red Raiders would like to half this lead in the remaining 2 minutes of the third quarter to have a manageable single-digit battle in order to find the conclusion of this in the fourth quarter. It's a three away for Stone. It won't go. Inside turnaround, Graham has it stripped away. Last touched by Leominster, and it will stay Red Raider basketball with 27 to shoot.
Coach Becca Fluitt for Fitchburg coming over to see Mr. Toomley to
yes,
get
it
some
is.
supply. So I think Cavins is going to be out here for a minute. It is a nosebleed, I believe.
And the runner thrown up wildly, not able to go for counsel, but the rebound for Negron with the discard. The basket goes, but it is waved off. No basket. Foul on the floor. It'll be Red Raider basketball. Top of the key as we continue to move. Shot away, that one won't go for Council. Rebound down for Smith. Around they go. Council with the basketball. Another opportunity on the possession, 22 to shoot. Negron, corner, Council, 18 to shoot. Basketball tipped, loose for Cudahy. In transition, Cudahy down the floor, bothered defensively by Smith with a nice job. Smith called for the foul, got a piece of the arm.
I've got to just talk for just a moment. Coach Rusty Frederick for Leominster is all the way up into the stands. He's going to need some Motrin. He's going to need some Advil because the amount of body English that he's been given on the sideline all night long, either trying to get baskets to go in, trying to get calls from the officials, and just taking walks left and right. He's just been having to literally just take a moment, go for a walk. Take a moment, go for a walk.
Cudahy can't get the first to go. The nice part, Kate, when you are in the Fieldhouse here in Fitchburg, there's a lot of places you can go to walk and still remain COVID safe.
That's right.
When you're at home at the gym at Leominster High School, not as much room to go for your walks. Even with the COVID modifications.
A lot of pacing that goes
it's
on.
It's an awfully small gym when you get the sense of it. Cudahy's shot is away. We've got a lane violation.
That's been happening. We've seen that quite a bit on the girls' side of things throughout the course of the year. I'm wondering if that was a point of emphasis for the officials at the beginning of the year. That tends to, when you see whistles like that happen throughout the year, more prevalent than normal.
Cudahy's second opportunity, make it her third, didn't go either. Turnaround for Nivard doesn't go, but McDonald, third opportunity on the possession, finishes at the rim. Increases Leominster's lead to 10 again as we go under a minute here in the third quarter.
both Fitchburg and Leominster matching each other, scoring contributions from 6 different players on both sides of the ball thus far in this one. And that's what you need from both sides if you want to be victorious.
Corner, Smith knew it was short, right out of her hand. She couldn't find her way through traffic to the rim. Meanwhile, in transition, down for Boulay, bothered, missed the lay-in. Graham collides with Nevard.
Oh, gosh.
And there is an injury back on the other end of the floor. The officials tried to let the action play out until a natural stopping point best they could.
That's Negron.
And before the ball transitioned, that was the time to blow the whistle dead. 32 2/10 to play here in the third quarter. A 35-25 lead for the Blue Devils. And they will call for trainer Alan Toomley out onto the floor to take a look at Ilka Negron, who went down, came out of that pack, Kate. There was some rebounding action, came down, and then as the pack transitioned back down the floor from left to right, she kind of dropped to the floor behind the pack. I don't want to speculate as they check the lower body for an injury, but
it's clearly a lower extremity. From
my experience tells me in a rebounding action, when you have somebody that drops to the floor, in a lot of cases, it's something knee on down, like you say, and usually it's something that got rolled or you weren't able to plant your foot when you were coming out of the pack or you land on a foot. Those are the kinds of things that are possible when situations like this arise. 32 2/10 to play here in the third.
It's definitely her left. Trainer Alan Toomley checking out the flex in her left knee right now. One note of positive here as we begin transition. Negron getting up on her own power, which is fantastic. Cavins is getting ready to check back in the game. She is remasked. So good news on both sides. Negron up on her own power, walking without any problems, and Cavins checking back in the game for the Lady Red Raiders.
And that is good news all around. Negron will get a chance for a break. Cavins coming back in. We'll keep an eye on Negron and whether she returns to action. As we take a look quickly at the bracket, remember, winner of this one gets the winner of Quabbin and Oakmont. That game going on in Barrie tonight. Perhaps we'll get an update on where that action will develop. In the meantime, by the way, on deck, Fitchburg and Leominster boys coming up in the bottom half of that bracket in the pod playoff as well. That game coming up on a separate stream right here on Rivalry Family Media and with our partners at FATV. As Cavins will tip this one away. Final 10 seconds to shoot. About a 1.5 differential to the game clock. The runner for Nevard won't go. Rebound down for Forsberg doesn't go either. And there's a foul on the rebounding action with 2 6/10 seconds to play here in the third. And McDonald may have caught an elbow.
We said leave it all out on the court.
She is pointing at her ankle as well. And again, Kate, it was another one of those players packed in real tight. Everybody jumped to try to get the rebound coming down. And then you've got a lot of lower appendages, a lot of feet. People are trying to find the floor and some firm planting point.
No news yet.
Yeah, checking social media here as Kate is in search of potentially a score for Oakmont and Quabbin on the girls' side of things.
Right now, Oakmont has stuff from their hockey game, but not from basketball
So
yet,
we'll keep an eye on that as well as we continue throughout the evening as well, right here on Rivalry Family Media. So great to have you along with us again as they treat Ava McDonald's injury, and she'll get checked out and head over
but not
to the Leominster bench. Yeah, correct. With assistance from Athletic Director Craig Antossi.
Well, this is one of the things that, you talk about relative to the rivalry. How nice is it to see an opposing athletic director and obviously a trainer needing to be here in Mr. Toomley, but the fact that, even in a rivalry game, you can have the opposing athletic director helping you off of the court. And sometimes as a young player, you're like, oh, get away from me, you're the enemy. But again, this rivalry isn't a rivalry without each other.
Down floor, ball tipped, it rolls loose. Final 2 seconds come off the board, and that's where we are. Through 3 quarters here inside the Fieldhouse in Fitchburg tonight. Leominster holding on to a 10-point advantage at 35-25. We mentioned coming into the night, we mentioned the distinct difference, obviously, in rank. You had 6 teams in the pod. Fitchburg finished second. Leominster finished third. Thus, the Red Raiders get to play here at home at the Grutchfield Fieldhouse. They'll do that again coming up in the boys' game in the second half of the doubleheader. But the point, Kate, that I think needs to be, kind of looked at here, Leominster's 5-5 record. Fitchburg's 8-1 record. Those records were far different. Fitchburg could have very much been the top seed tonight. Could have been hosting Oakmont as the bottom seed in this division. How big does that coin toss seem right now?
Well, not only that, I mean, if you're Coach Paul DiGeronimo and you have the situation where you have traditional tiebreakers, how upset are you that your fate is then placed in a coin toss? Of course you want to see a Leominster-Fitchburg matchup, so there is that aspect of things. But as you said, if you're able to play the 4 seed instead of the 3 seed, you still have home court advantage in that matchup, and you would have had home court advantage throughout the entirety of the pod playoffs. So it's a very interesting situation for Coach Paul DiGeronimo, and you can bet your bottom dollar he's going to think about that. If this lead continues for Leominster for another quarter, and if Leominster beats Fitchburg in this situation where you have the 3 seed beating the 2 seed, you can bet your bottom dollar that we're either going to hear through the grapevine or hear from Coach DiGeronimo himself, you know, why the heck did we have to have a coin toss? We could have been the 1 seed playing the 4 seed, and it may have been a very different situation. I mean, he's certainly not going to make any excuses.
No, absolutely not. His team has all of the weapons in the world to be able to win this basketball game.
This ball game is by no means over, okay?
It's 8 minutes left of regulation. That's where we are right now in this first game. For those of you that are with us for the long haul, got a lot of basketball left this evening, both in this matchup. At the conclusion of this girls' game, we will wrap things up. We will set the scene for the playoff going forward, and then we will break. We will end this stream. We will reset things. We will set up a separate stream for Leominster and Fitchburg boys. That game coming up at a scheduled 7 o'clock tip-off coming up this evening. We'll have it for you here on RFM. Thanks to our partners at Fitchburg Access Television for the visuals as well. Top of the key. Foul shot away. Will not go for Graham. Battle to the floor. Forsberg, it looks like, came out with it. She found Nevard, and there's a foul on the rebounding action. Question is, which way did it go? It's a call of a hold, and it's billed against the Red Raiders.
Yeah, it's either Cavins or Allen, I believe. Cavins, though, right back in the scrum, right back in the mix. Reckless abandon. She's going to be out on that court leading her team. That's veteran leadership.
Pompey bounced to the wing, found Nevard, shot up, Cavins. Gets fouled, and that one will send Nevard to the line. And you're right, Kate, that was a case where Cavins tried to scramble back into the play as Nevard misses the first and kind of just threw everything at her that she possibly could in an effort to disrupt the shot. The good news for the Red Raiders, in addition to the miss by Nevard, was preventing the make plus a foul shot.
Certainly.
That's the thing. If you're going to give the foul, make sure they don't make the initial shot. Lane violation called against Nevard. Foul shot was no good, but the ball right back to the Red Raiders.
I'm calling it right now. It absolutely must have been a point of emphasis.
Kate's experience in the world of officiating tells her had to have been a point of emphasis.
Had to have been a point of emphasis in the offseason. Had to have been.
30 seconds gone by here in the fourth. Red Raiders looking to close the 10-point advantage.
Or an email went out in the last 3 weeks.
Council with the drive on the lay-in. She got hooked on her way around. Foul should be on the floor. Did they call it on the shot? They got 2 shots coming up here. They say Council was stepping around and then was on her way up. 2 shots coming up here for Council at the line. And every free throw, Kate, matters at this point.
Oh, yes. And right now, Council has not yet been to the line, but she has, let's see, 11 points for the Red Raiders. She misses her first, and she is fuming about it. Next foul against Fitchburg will put Leominster, oh no, pardon me, next foul for Leominster will put Fitchburg in the bonus for the rest of the way. Nevard misses her second.
And there was a rim violation there. This one will go back
to Leominster.
To Leominster, indeed. And then Boulay got a pass guns to her. She couldn't hold the pivot foot, so it scrapes. She gets called for the walk, and the ball will go back to Fitchburg.
And these are the type of unforced errors that I start to get wary about here in the late going. With Leominster, we've talked about it all season long. You have a young team. Yes, they have a 10-point lead, but you have a veteran-laden Fitchburg team who knows how to win ball games. Leominster, on the other hand, very young team. And like you said, that 5-5 record.
Council tried to bank a 3 home. It wouldn't go, and the rebound down for Nevard.
That 5-5 record can seem tenuous from game to game. And so you have a situation where I'm getting a little bit worried about the amount of unforced errors on the side of Leominster. They're going to need to cool things down a little bit and just play their game. They have the 10-point lead.
Marwa left for Forsberg, missed the shot completely into the hands of Cavins.
And that becomes problematic.
Up floor, Smith with the opportunity to respond, and bang, put 3 on the board. The lead is 7.
And that's exactly what you can't do. You can't make the mistake on the offensive end and then turn around and promptly give up a 3-point shot and think that you're going to be able to maintain a tenuous 10-point lead. Fitchburg is far too good, and they're far too veteran-laden to let that happen.
And the Red Raiders have to take advantage, and that's what Smith did on that possession. Got an opportunity after the steal, hit the 3, that one poked away. Leominster will keep the basketball. 12 to shoot, a 35-28 advantage, 6:14 to play in the 4th, and the question is, as the Red Raiders start to get their second wind here, and they put their last gasp, take the next big punch at the Blue Devils, can they absorb it? There was an inadvertent whistle, so they're going to re-inbound the basketball. Those finger whistles can be tricky. And back into the game we go.
You want one.
That is a possibility. We don't need him in softball.
Nope.
4 to shoot. Cudahy's holding the basketball. Shot clock's about to go off. There it is. Shot clock violation, and the ball will go back to the Red Raiders. Kate, floor awareness, time and score awareness.
Floor awareness, time awareness, court awareness, but also back-to-back offensive opportunities that are ended by unforced errors. And Fitchburg took advantage of it the last time. Now let's see what they do with it again.
And this is Council off the right side of the arc. Goes back top of the key for Cavins. As Forsberg overplayed, Cavins with the feed for Hecker. She lays it in and good. It's a 5-point basketball game. And here come the Red Raiders with the full court pressure. The throwaway again. This one run down by Smith. Smith got bumped. It is Red Raider basketball, and it will be a 1-and-1 opportunity.
Back to back to back offensive possessions for Leominster with unforced errors or some type of a turnover that now, in 2 of those opportunities, directly leading to points for Fitchburg. We have a 5-point game with Smith at the line.
And Smith stands at the charity stripe, got a good look at the rim.
She's got 9 points already on the night.
Shorts the first, rebound back. Marwa races in and comes out with it.
When in doubt, right?
If she's on the floor, I like Marwa's chances on a rebound. Nevard glides through 2 defenders, then missed the lay-in at the rim. Battle for the basketball.
Wow.
Great play on her belly and called for the walk. Oh, tough call against Cavin there, as she did have to kind of get up in order to get the ball out from underneath her. And that's a walk. Remember, you have to hold your position. If you change your body position in any way, that's considered a movement. You can't roll with it.
What a
you
great
can't
effort.
stand up. But yeah, absolutely a
great
fantastic individual effort.
Now let's see what Leominster can do here on this reset. Fortunate here to retain possession.
This is Forsberg. Baseline drive, was stripped, tried to bang it off a player as she recovered, and the loose ball is picked by the Red Raiders. Here comes Smith. Bounce pass for Council. She got fouled. Council's got 2 shots from the line, and the Red Raiders are on fire over on their bench.
This is 4 offensive possessions in a row for Leominster where they have not been able to convert that possession into points, and on every single turn, Fitchburg has converted to points here. They're 3 of 3. This is their 4th opportunity to convert.
Council at the line, her first. That one will not go. 5:05 to play here in the 4th. A 5-point basketball game. Council can cut it to 2 possessions on a make here.
And this is one of those situations, having been in a situation as a high school athlete for Leominster in a playoff situation where you're going up against a team that really does have it together. The lead being tenuous, you get that kind of pit in your stomach, like, can we hold on?
Council hits the second, cuts it to a 4-point game. Coach Rusty Frederick says timeout. 5:04 to play in the 4th quarter. 35-31, Blue Devils lead is just 4. And it feels like, Kate, it is boiling. It is quickly evaporating.
Well, and that's the interesting thing. You've been able to have that 10-point lead at the end of the second quarter and at the end of the third quarter. You think you're doing well. You're firing on all cylinders. And then it just takes a couple of turnovers, a couple of unforced errors, and then all of a sudden you've let an incredibly talented Fitchburg Red Raider team back into the ballgame. Then all of a sudden you start to scramble a little bit. Then there are some unforced errors, and every single time Fitchburg converts on those unforced errors, that you're letting them back in the ballgame.
No rest for the weary, as you see on the Pod 6 playoff bracket. Winner of this one gets the winner of Quabbin-Oakmont, game scheduled for tomorrow at a time and location to be determined by seed and athletic director decisions. So that is all to come as we get a chance to take a look. That's Travis Falk, by the way, as we get him on our pod pool footage here. He was the technical whiz that made this whole partnership come together inside the Doug Grutchfield Fieldhouse tonight. We can't say thank you enough to him. And of course, Executive Director Nate Glennie for their long support. Nate, Travis, and I have known each other for a very, very long time, Kate. It goes back to the early 2000s. When, although I was a Leominster student, I was calling Saturday night hockey from the Wallace Civic Center here in Fitchburg on FATV each and every Saturday night. Joe Tredello and his family were our executive producers at the time. They ran a fantastic crew every Saturday night, calling hockey games for Fitchburg State and local high schools as well. And Travis, Nate, and I all got our starts as part of that broadcast as well here in Fitchburg. 5:04 to play here in the fourth. Leominster out of the timeout. Full court pressure. Coach DiGeronimo is hopping with enthusiasm over on the bench. Do you think they want it? Nevard with it over in the corner. Here's Forsberg, the drive. Stripped away by Cavins. And she will outlet for Council. Under 5 to play here in the fourth. Float into the post. This one tipped. Turnaround opportunity. Graham bounces for Hecker. No finish. Hecker, second opportunity. And down it goes. And the lead is 2.
She's been pretty good on the low post here, especially in the second half.
Tressaloni handling the basketball. Her first action tonight coming here in the closing frame. Cudahy with it, directing traffic. To say that Leominster needs a basket goes as an understatement maybe of the season. Nevard missed that one. Battle on the rebound. Forsberg got bumped. Last touch, Graham. Blue Devils keep the basketball with 28 to shoot.
I've got a pit in my stomach.
Halfway mark of this fourth quarter.
Feels like they're 30 seconds.
Tressaloni off the inbound. Fires away and hits. Talk about making a difference. You're in the game for 30 seconds and you're on the score sheet to stem the tide. Huge bucket for Chloe Tressaloni.
Oh boy.
Drive the lane. Smith to respond. She got fouled. Smith's got 2 shots coming up.
She went airborne.
You can see the fouls, 9-3, 9 called against the Blue Devils. Double bonus for the Red Raiders. The rest of the way, they've got free throws. Meanwhile, as Smith hits the first, the Red Raiders have 4 fouls to give that they can use strategically before they put the Blue Devils at the line for free throws.
Olivia Smith, second in scoring on the season for the Red Raiders. She's proving it tonight as well.
Rolled that one over the front rim. 2 of 2 on the trip. 3-point basketball
game. She's got
game.
11 points in this game.
Under the 4-minute mark of the fourth. Here's Cudahy. Cudahy sees the room, drives the lane, soft touch, will not go. Cavins, the authoritative rebound, and the outlet for Council.
And that's what she's been so masterful at here, especially in the second half. Her defense has been absolutely clutch in distributing the ball back on offense to her own team.
Allen sets up Cavins, short off the left rim. Boulay runs down the loose ball, rebound in the left wing.
Cavins still struggling, especially from 3. She's 0 of 3 from behind the arc. Again, only 2 points on the night, but her defense and her leadership out there have been truly remarkable.
3:15 to play in the fourth quarter. Cudahy with the giveaway. It was tipped by Council. Finds Smith. The bounce. Council for the finish. Can't do it. The rebound opportunity. Smith heaves it up there. It won't go. Allen, a 4th opportunity. She gets fouled, and Allen's got 2 coming from the line. 3:03 to play in the fourth quarter. A 3-point basketball game. Could be just one if Allen can hit them both here in the fourth quarter.
double bonus for the rest of the way, as you said, Todd, for the Red Raiders, and they've got plenty of fouls to give on the other side of the ball.
Allen's first will not go. You see Coach Paul DiGeronimo stocking the sideline, trying to move the pieces around, give the players the opportunity to win the basketball game. And the Raiders defense has done everything they can for them in the last 4 minutes of this fourth quarter. The offense has got to make the finish. Allen's first, won't off the front rim. Second doesn't go either. And this one's down for Nevard. Leominster with another possession and another desperate need for a basket to maintain their lead. 2-for-1s at this stage, not a good situation if you're wearing blue and white. Nevard, back for Cudahy. 10 to shoot. Boulay can't go right, has to go back to the left. Finds Cudahy. 5 seconds to shoot now. This one give away, loose ball, and shot clock's gonna go off. They say it's good if it goes. That was, at best, charitable. That ball goes out of bounds and will go back to the Red Raiders. If we had a monitor in high school basketball, Kate, and that shot went, would have been reversed. That ball was still on the palm of Pompey when the horn went off. 2 minutes, 33 seconds, fourth quarter. The lead is 3. And the Red Raiders, an opportunity to draw even on this possession. Who would have seen that with a 10-point Blue Devil lead at halftime? Council tries the bounce entry pass. It was off a leg. It ends up in the hands of Smith. Smith, middle of the floor. Fitchburg will not be able to finish. A foul on the rebounding action. It's called on Smith. Red Raider basketball.
Right now in this fourth quarter, the Iron has not been kind to the Blue Devils. They're not doing a great job on the rebounding action, getting those offensive rebounds, and they had been doing a very nice job of that throughout most of the basketball game. And right here in the fourth quarter, that is not what we are seeing at the moment. To Fitchburg's credit, they have been absolutely masterful on their rebounding action.
Cavan's first.
Oh,
caught a lot of iron, and that one will not go.
And this is one of those things where no matter what your coach does, no matter what Paul DiGeronimo says to her at the end of the game and about the contributions that she has been able to make, she's just going to be so frustrated.
Missed that one, but raced down the loose ball. Great read out of her own palm. Red Raiders, 2-for-1 again. This is Graham, tipped away by Nevard. Back top of the key, Smith. Bounce inside, find Graham, missed everything. Allen runs down the loose ball in the left wing. Now up the sideline, Council, foul line drive, lost her feet, loose ball for Forsberg. Under 2 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter. Here's Forsberg, racing down the floor, nowhere to go. She'll circle back for Cudahy and balance the floor. Leominster clinging to this 3-point lead, white knuckle style. Pompey throws up a scoop, got fouled. 2 shots coming for Pompey at the line. And the push is called against Cavins. And Coach Paul DiGeronimo wants Pompey to think about it.
Nice.
95 seconds to play here in the fourth quarter. 38-35. Leominster with the 3-point lead.
This has been a remarkable game to watch, especially down the stretch here in the fourth quarter, to see the different adjustments that are being made, just to see kind of the emotional tenor and kind of the undulation back and forth. Leominster struggling on offense right now to make things, to get things going. But again, what we've noticed here and noted here in the fourth quarter, Leominster not doing a fantastic job on the offensive boards. They have not been able to come down and get those second and third opportunities, and all of a sudden Fitchburg has been able to do that. Cavins for Fitchburg once again struggling on offense, but again her defense has been tremendous, and Fitchburg getting scoring contributions from Council and Smith. Those are their 2 high scorers for the night thus far. I think both of them with 11 points. 6 different people on the score sheet for both Leominster and for Fitchburg. Actually, Leominster has 8 people on the score sheet, so a really nice distribution of points amongst a whole host of Blue Devils and Red Raiders. Been a very, very interesting one here. Leominster, as you said, clinging to this 3-point lead, and Fitchburg can smell blood in the water.
And Cavins, of course, might be the biggest note. We've mentioned only the 2 points tonight. She's had 74 points coming into the basketball game this season. She led the team last year with 218. She averages 8.2 points per game. She has 2 tonight. That is a huge defensive mark on the scouting report for the Blue Devils as Pompey goes to the line out of the timeout and misses the first promptly.
And if you're Coach Paul DiGeronimo, that timeout, well worth it.
Indeed. So Pompey at the line could badly use this one to make it a 2-possession basketball game. Shot away, and down it goes. An important free throw. A 4-point game with 95 seconds. Here we go. Council coming back down floor right to left. She'll take it to the right side of the arc. Circle back for Cavins. Off the screen from Council. 3-point away. Front rim, no. Battle for the rebound, crash. Graham up with it. Doesn't go. Official started up with the arm, brought it back down. The rebound for Forsberg. 1:14 to play. Council skids, cuts the legs out from underneath Forsberg.
We said that they had a lot of fouls to give, but that was in interesting fashion.
Did not mean to do it. She just hit a wet spot on the floor when she skidded, and it took the legs out from right underneath Forsberg and gave the 5th foul for the Red Raiders.
Got her money's worth of that.
Indeed. Final minute and 13 of the 4th.
Oh,
there's the bump.
There it is.
They'll give the 6th foul. So Coach DiGeronimo is trying very much to keep as much time on the clock as he can. He wants to put the Blue Devils at the line immediately and make them beat them from the foul line.
So you're just going to see foul after foul here.
You've got one more to give before you've got free throws. And that's coming up right here and now. That was, if that 6 is correct, Kate, the next foul is 1-1. So now the Blue Devils got to think about who gets the inbound opportunity. Some point you just have to take the open player. Cudahy flings it, finds Pompey. Pompey dribbles into the open floor. She gets hip checked. That's the foul, the 7th. Pompey will go to the line with a 1 plus the bonus opportunity.
Bit surprised there that Cavins retreated rather than going and forcing the foul, but she might have too many fouls
she
to
might
her
be
name
playing.
because the player and the foul haven't changed since the first half on the scoreboard. So we don't necessarily know exactly how many fouls that she has, but she was in retreat and one of her teammates had to come in and force the issue, but it did take some time off the clock.
Offense for defense, substitutions for both coaching staffs. Pompey is at the line, shooting a 1 plus the bonus opportunity. Shot away, front rim, glass, count it. And the Blue Devil lead is 5 with 1:04 to play here in the 4th.
And her last 2 times at the line have been huge for the Lady Blue Devils. She brought it to a 2-possession game, and she's going to try to extend it here.
The freshman Juliana Pompey hits 2 on that trip to make it a 41-35 6-point Leominster lead in the final minute here of the 4th quarter. The bounce, shot up for Graham, strong take, and Graham's going to the line to shoot 2.
Coach Frederick telling his girls to just settle down. They were a little bit upset with the foul call there under the basket to put Fitchburg back at the line. But Coach Frederick, the biggest thing, you got to keep your cool. There's only a minute of ball game left, and you cannot afford to have anything happen because of your emotions.
And the first one goes for Graham.
Got the Dada family checking in here on Facebook Live, cheering on the girls from Leominster.
Getting ready for the boys' action, which is, of course, coming up on deck. Graham's second, hard in and out. Rebound down for Pompey. Full court pressure here. Leominster able to take some time off the clock. They got to give the foul, and Graham swatted and finally was able to get a hold of Cudahy.
7 seconds. 7.1
Yes.
seconds were able to come off of the clock. So it is taking Fitchburg a little bit of time to be able to get those fouls taken care of.
And the offense for defense comes again.
My stomach
And now
is in knots.
the officials heading over to the table. It is a 1-and-1 opportunity here. They will confer with the official book.
My goodness.
52 9/10 to play here in the 4th. 41-37 Leominster's lead. And now the officials having a conversation here.
Oh, good.
And they're going to come over to the official table where the clock operation is. And Leominster will make a last substitution. And now the 1-and-1 opportunity here for Cudahy. Shot away. Cudahy can't get it to go. Graham got herself the rebound.
Got another Leominster alumna checking in. Catherine Bro, her stomach's in knots too. She feels me. She feels me.
Bounce into the lane. Players tied up on the held ball. Leominster basketball.
Talk about
huge
heads up.
opportunity.
Yeah, talk about heads up there from Isabella Nevard to get into the mix. Leominster gets possession.
And Coach Rusty Frederick spends the timeout. 43 5/10 to play here in the fourth. 41-36. Leominster's lead is just 5, Kate, and it feels like less. A tenuous 5-point lead, to say the least. And this is our first of a doubleheader of Leominster-Fitchburg basketball tonight.
Traction by the end of the night.
Boys game comes up, the pod playoff on the boys' side of the bracket. Leominster waiting in the stands to play Fitchburg. That game coming up, scheduled for a 7 o'clock tip-off here inside the Doug Grutchfield Fieldhouse in Fitchburg. For those of you joining us on Rivalry Family Media this evening, we will take a quick break at the conclusion of this one. After wrapping things up, we will reset the stream. There will be a fresh stream coming up. You'll find it facebook.com/media rivalry. You'll also find it with our partners out there on Facebook. Leominsterites Unite, discussing Fitchburg now. Leominster, that's my hometown. Hopefully those folks don't mind. There'll be a second post coming to that page this evening as we try to find Blue Devils and Red Raiders all across the United States and around the world, streaming via the internet. Yes, Kate?
So because there aren't fans in here, there has been a complaint about how loud you are.
I can fill up the gym at Leominster High School, which is not surprising. It's a small room. Are you a bit staggered by the fact I can fill up this field house?
Nope, not at all.
Absolutely not.
I just field the complaints and relay them. That's my job.
But the problem is when you know the person doing the complaining and there's a wink involved, like, it's hard to read that complaint. I think they just like to give me static.
I think so too.
Away we go. Pompey with the basketball out of the timeout.
Here we go.
And there's the reach in, foul given. And the foul will be given by Council, 39 6/10 to play here in the fourth.
Pompey back at the line.
And Pompey has been
about
the
50%.
person at the line right now, though, the right 50%.
Yep. She's been 50% so far for the Blue Devils.
3 very important free throws, not but about a minute and a half ago game time-wise, to expand this Leominster lead just enough to make it manageable. First one too strong, but right back to Pompey. She'll send it back out for Nevard. And Coach Frederick says, hold on to it.
Smart.
There's about a 10-second differential. Red Raiders have to give the foul. They leap to do it. Stop the clock with 32 8/10 left here in the fourth.
Interesting, only about not even 6 seconds came off the clock with that. So interesting.
So 2 8/10 will be the difference, shot clock to game clock, on the rebound. But that was the 10th foul given by the Red Raiders. So Nevard's first from the line of a mandatory 2 does not go.
Want to say a quick hello to Javier Silva, watching from Uruguay. Welcome.
We don't kid when we say the audience joins us from around the world. Javier, thank you so much for checking in with us. Second will go for Nevard.
And we have info coming in from the Quabbin and Oakmont.
That shot side rim won't go. Battle for the rebound. Held ball, alternate possession. Red Raiders keep the basketball with 23 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. Shot clock is off. Kate, we have another intrepid reporter out there providing us an update from Quabbin and Oakmont.
Well, we know it's 16-1 Quabbin on top of Oakmont in the first quarter.
Yeah, 1 minute left in the first quarter is the update we're getting. Clock was stuck. About a second and a half stays on it. 3 away from Cavins won't go. Battle for the rebound. There was a push on the loose ball.
Cavins is so frustrated out there. I feel so terrible. She's taken 4 or 5 shots from behind the arc, and she has not landed any of them again. 2 points for Cavins on the night, but she's going to be so frustrated. But she has done so many good things on defense for her team tonight. You can't rely on one person, and I'm not saying that Fitchburg has, but you're going to have nights where just you can't find the baskets.
Cudahy's shot will not go. First of a mandatory 2. We thank Mike Griffin for that update,
yes,
by the way,
Mike.
our intrepid reporter out there. We'll keep an eye on things. The important part, of course, in this Quabbin-Oakmont game is, of course, the winner of this one gets the winner of Quabbin and Oakmont.
Huge rebound for Nevard there.
Indeed, and another foul given there. No choice. Basically, you're fouling to extend the game. And of course, people always have this argument in a basketball game. Why? Why do this strategically? It's all about the idea of the odds as Nevard takes the first, and that one rims in and out. The longer you can extend the game, the hope is that the longer you can keep this alive, the more likely you are to get into a scenario where you were able to overcome the deficit that you have. But right now, not so much. And Nevard's second will go. Red Raiders with the basketball. Down floor they come. Council launches the three. Hard in and out. Battle for the rebound, Graham. 4 seconds to play. Blue Devils just seconds away from a win. Council's three is away. Front rim, no! And the Blue Devils pull the upset. 5-5 in Pod 6. The 3-seeded Blue Devils take down what could have been the top seed, but was the second-seeded Red Raiders with an 8-1 record with a win tonight. Coaches congratulate each other at mid-floor, and the teams. Leominster with a victory tonight in the first game of the doubleheader by a 43-36 mark. What a basketball game.
If you had asked me on the car ride here, and guess what you did, because I came with you. If you had asked me on the car ride here if I thought that this is how this one would end, I would say in your dreams. After having seen the way that Leominster performed earlier in the season against Fitchburg and having seen them, kind of stub their toe throughout the second half of the season, and seeing how difficult it was for Leominster to try to put the puzzle pieces together against Fitchburg, they didn't have an answer mid-season. That just shows you having some time to be able to coach up the team and having multiple weeks, being able to go up against the Oakmont and Quabbin toward the end of the season, I think was pivotal for Leominster to be able to be playing their best basketball going into the pod playoff. I'm not going to necessarily, speculate. I guess I will speculate, but I'm wondering if that Narragansett and Gardner end to the season for Fitchburg contributed in a bit of a letdown. And they had such an easy go against Leominster in their games. It's, you take a moment to at least wonder, were they in a situation where they thought, okay, let's get through this one and get to the next one? I would never say that about Coach Paul DiGeronimo, but you are dealing with high school students and that kind of mentality.
And February vacation week. And we all know when the playoffs fall in and around February vacation week or anytime, when you see the spring and it arrives around graduation and these other things, when you have break from the normal routine academically and from the normal academic schedule, believe it or not, it does affect the athletic schedule. And the athlete's not in their normal routine in the vacation week. Who knows what their day was like today? Of course, that's kind of the name of the game in the COVID world today. But that could very well make a difference, Kate, in what we saw for a performance tonight.
I will say all of the spring coaches are laughing at this point in time because the softball, baseball, lacrosse coaches,
tennis,
they're all used to going, oh, yeah, beach week in the middle of playoffs? Oh, yeah.
Sure, no problem.
Yep. So if you are a spring athlete or you're a parent of a spring athlete, or especially if you're a spring coach, you know how these vacations or graduations, how they can just throw a wrench into what seemingly is smooth sailing. As soon as you hit some type of well, you knew the break was coming, but it's something that kind of shakes up your schedule like that. Difficult, very difficult.
Leominster, the big victory here tonight in game one of our doubleheader. It was a treat here inside the Doug Grutchfield Fieldhouse in Fitchburg, and it's only game one of two this evening. What an opportunity to bring it into your homes here inside the gym at Leominster High School.
We can only speculate that with the lead that Quabbin has here in the early going, that Leominster very likely to play Quabbin on the road later in the week.
Indeed. And so if that is the case, it is scheduled for tomorrow tentatively at a time to be determined. Once all that information is decided, the only thing we can tell you, that game will be available right here on Rivalry Family Media. Thanks to our partners at Quabbin for that situation, if the game is played at Quabbin. If Quabbin loses to Oakmont, the game would be at the gym at Leominster High School, which is a possibility as well. And so that would be a situation that would develop, and all would be right here on Rivalry Family Media as well. So stay tuned to Twitter for more information on that schedule, and as well right here on Facebook.com/Media
We've already got less than 30 minutes to the next game. We gotta get this party started.
Things are moving rapidly here inside the Doug Grutchfield Fieldhouse in Fitchburg tonight. Leominster a winner over Fitchburg and moves on in game one of our doubleheader. We thank the folks at Fitchburg so very much. Thank our partners at Fitchburg Access Television for the pool footage available to us this evening to be able to offer this one to you. As we said, we're going to break. We're going to wrap things up here inside the Fieldhouse for now. Reset the stream, set a new stream going for the boys basketball action coming up. Second game on deck. The third-seeded Blue Devils, the second-seeded Red Raiders. A battle to come, and it'll all be done right here inside the Doug Grutchfield Fieldhouse in Fitchburg. Coming up at a scheduled start at 7 o'clock or 27 minutes, give or take, from right now. We'll be back with you in a few moments as we reset those streams. Senior night video coming up for the boys basketball program as well. That'll come before tip-off. A lot of fun to come. You're going to want to stay with us. Find that stream, facebook.com/media rivalry. Out there on Leominster Heights Unite. Leominster, that's my hometown, discussing Fitchburg now on Facebook. For Kate Robbins, I am Todd Robbins, and everybody here as part of our Rivalry family, media family from high above courtside. For the moment, we say so long. Back with you in about 10 minutes on a different stream right here, as this is RFM.